Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Good Neighbor. I am here with Tawny Walker. I always want to say Tawny too, but Tawny Walker. She owns Liquid Salon. She is the owner of Million Dollar Salon. She is just the boss by right. Tawny was one of the first entrepreneurs that I knew about 10 years ago. And I'm just so excited to talk to you today. So, hi.
I'm excited too to be a part of Good Neighbor. I love the name, by the way. Super cute.
Thank you. Thank you. I try. So tell me about you. Like, where are you originally from? How'd you get in the
I'm
business?
originally, okay, how far back do we want to go? Into the womb
However,
from Vietnam.
the
Out of the womb, I'm from Pontiac, Michigan originally, born and raised. And, here I am still in Michigan.
nice. So you own a salon in Liquid or a Liquid Salon in Bloomfield Hills. How did you get started in the business and why did you choose that neighborhood?
So I got started in the business. It was kind of my first real job outside of like babysitting and doing odd things. I was like 15 years old and I started working at the time it was called Heidi's. It was a chain of salons inside malls. I don't know if people remember that. I could be aging myself by telling the story, but
I'm
that
too
was my
young for that.
first real job. And I initially hated it. I thought that the salon environment was just like a little bit too snooty. I just didn't really care for it. But my sister was like, give it a chance, like go back. So I did. And 20 some odd years later, here I am still in the business. It's like a love-hate relationship with the business. Like
Hmm.
you love it, but then there are days that you hate it. But all in all, I got my start as a receptionist and I worked my way up into management all through high school, all through college. And then after college, I got a real job, which I got fired from because I fell asleep. It was boring. It was
What was
and I
this job?
realized office jobs are not for me.
Mm.
I'm a little bit ADD. I like to be doing like multiple things at a time so that a normal person would probably think I'm crazy, but that's how I function. Like I like to have multiple things on my plate. So then that's kind of how I got my start and I just fell in love with the business and I've been here ever since.
Yeah, I'm like you. Like, I feel like I've learned so much just from watching you over the years and how you
Oh,
juggled Pink Pump and Liquid. And I just adore you so much. So you are like a teacher and a mentor in a way.
oh, that's so
Yeah,
sweet.
from
And
afar.
Pink Pump
Yeah.
feels like a million years ago. When
Pink
people
Pump
bring
was
it up, I
everything.
like try not to even go back into that place because I never worked so hard in my life and I never want to do that again. But yes, it
It
was it
was,
was a period of time in my life when I just worked 7 days a week, 24/7, nonstop, and I'll never do that again. But I'm glad I
I
did it.
mean, that was crazy. So
That
what
was
was it like when you first started the salon? What was the business environment like?
So when I first started the salon, that was kind of like before you could YouTube everything, like YouTube
Yeah.
University. So when I first started the salon, I only had my experience to base it upon, running the different salons that I had managed. So it was a lot of trial and error. I was 24 years old when we first opened Liquid. And honestly, I didn't know a lot about running a business outside of seeing other people run their business. I
Hmm.
didn't have like anyone to call and ask questions. And I tried to ask some of my old bosses, and they were kind of like, figure it out. And so
Yeah.
I did, trial and error. A lot of things you learn by doing it and realizing don't do that again type
Yeah.
of thing. But it was interesting because I personally don't work behind the chair. I just really enjoy the management aspect of the salon business. I love watching different people grow and grow at their own pace and be their best, their personal best. And I really love this business because no 2 days are the same. It's
Mhm.
fashion, it's beauty, but there's also business and relationship building. And there's so many things that go into owning a salon that people don't realize. They think, oh, you get your hair done all day, you get your
Yeah.
nails done all day. And it's like not like that.
Not at all. Like, you are so much behind like education and the branding of it and even like the products that you sell and the relationship that you build with the different vendors. So you're so hands-on. Are
Thank
people
you.
really surprised to know that you are not behind the chair or like you don't hold a license?
So surprised because people are like,
Yeah.
what do you do all day then? And I'm like, nothing, But I think that's kind of like the misconception that you have to own a salon. You know,
Mhm.
you have to be working behind the chair in some capacity. But I always tell people, a lot of people own restaurants and they're not actually the head chef. You know,
A
you have
lot.
a love for the business and you have knowledge of the business. And sometimes I think it's better if you don't work behind the chair and own a salon, because I couldn't
Mhm.
imagine wearing that many hats. It's a lot. And it's a lot to juggle. And I always say you can't do everything well. There's some things that you're gonna not
Yeah.
be as good at, and some things that you're gonna
Mhm.
excel at. So for me, working behind the chair was never anything I really wanted to do. I was always drawn to the business aspect of it, and
Mhm.
still to this day, like no regrets.
Yeah, I love that. What surprised you the most about owning a salon?
The bills. I was like, I remember when we first opened, and I opened up the DTE bill, and I was like, $900. We need to turn the lights off right now. I was like, what is going on? So I think when you go into, owning a business, a brick and mortar,
Mhm.
there's so many bills that come at you that are part of your overhead that you may not even
Yeah.
like have projected for. Just, the everyday cost of running the business, the everyday cost of, keeping staff, your biggest
Mhm.
expense is your payroll. It's
Yeah.
in every business. I think the people that you keep on your team, you have to pay them well. You have to respect their business, their craft. And if you want to have the best, you have to pay the best. And
Absolutely.
that's so important. So that's
Yeah.
that's the biggest surprise for me was the overhead.
The bills. I think a lot of people who own a business are like they want to keep overhead down and cut the cost on their people, but you will never get great people if you can't pay a great wage. So,
You never
yeah,
will.
that's a good
And
one.
you have to choose where you cut your cost. And you can never go wrong by investing in your people. Your people are your biggest
Absolutely.
investment. They're the
Mhm.
ones who represent your business, your brand, and you have to believe in them so that they can believe in, working for you, with you. And I always say working with me. I never really say working for me because it's really a partnership. I
Yeah.
still have a lot of my original staff that started with me in 2005 when we first opened our doors.
Yeah.
To me, that means more than anything. It means more than the sales, the revenue, anything, because it
Mhm.
just shows that, there's loyalty and there's relationship building and there's some type of synergy that's going on that's
Yeah.
working, because this business typically has a lot of turnover. And when I tell people I still have my original staff and people that have been with me for at least 12 years and up, people are like shocked because they're like, I can't keep, staff for 6 months to a year. And it's all
Yeah.
about investing in your people.
And then you create an environment too that makes them feel empowered to be like their own boss or their own entrepreneur. Like you don't stifle them. That's really good.
This business, everyone is their own boss. You
Mhm.
determine your paycheck, you determine your destiny. How hard you work is what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're punching a clock. You don't have a set salary. For the most part, most of my staff is they're all independent contractors. People don't
Yeah.
realize it in this business, because it really is, they're setting their own hours, they're setting their own, they're
Mhm.
determining their schedule, they're determining pricing. There's things we work hand in hand behind the scenes, but for the most part, they do run their own business behind their chair.
Yeah. Yeah. So you started Million Dollar Salon, which I am obsessed with. Even though I'm not in the beauty business, I feel like the next one you have, I gotta come to just to be a part of it.
That is like a passion project of mine. I started that on accident because I had a lot of people that would reach out to me and say, I want to have a store, or I want to have a salon. Can you help me? And I
Mhm.
remember when, I was 23 years old, trying to figure out who, what, where, and nobody wanted to help. So I always try to help people, even if it's just giving some advice or giving some
Yeah.
guidance, or like
Yeah.
giving them, kind of like a point of contact person that can help them. I try to. So from that mentorship, I started thinking, well, let me do a workshop, because it's really hard to spread yourself thin and help 10 people. If I can do a
Yeah.
workshop and maybe those 10 people come. So my first workshop, I was thinking like 10 people would come.
It
75
was
seats
packed.
filled up like right away. I didn't know that you can cap the seats. couldn't even really fit 75 people in the salon because I did my first workshop in like 2014. And I was like shocked at how many people were like on a wait list. So then I started doing multiple workshops back to back. And literally people were driving in from Ohio. I had somebody driving from Alabama. And it was crazy because I was like, how are they finding me? Little old me. But they were just saying like, you know, it was really helpful to have somebody. I'm very straightforward. I'm very honest. I don't mince words. I'm going to give it to you straight. And just, they were like calling, texting, emailing, like, you know, can I work with you afterwards? And I was like, well, work with me how? And they're like, you know, I want you to, you know, do more consulting. So then that ended up being like an accident. So then I started doing that. It got really crazy and I had to take a break for personal life. And then I picked it up like 3 years ago. And I was like, okay, I took a long break. People aren't going to remember me. I'm going to do a workshop.
And they right back there
shocked.
ready for you.
People like people were right back. And it was a whole new crop of people. And I was shocked, but you know, from there, I've been busy nonstop. I try not to take on more than 4 clients a month because I like to really give people my full attention.
Your time.
I really want to be able to help them. And like right now I have a client in Georgia, I have one in Texas, and I have 2 in Michigan. So I'm like all over the place. But
all over the place.
I really, really love it because I can see myself in their shoes. They're trying to start up, or like they started up, maybe they didn't start up right, and they're trying to fix it and try to figure out how to turn it. And I literally can see myself in their shoes, like just wanting someone to help me and be honest, you know, and I give them such honest feedback. And I work with salon owners, I work with chains, I work with suite owners. I worked with a suite owner who owns 200 suites, all the way to like startup. My first suite, 4 chairs, you know, 4 stations or suites. So I really work with everybody, you know, it's something I really enjoy doing. I don't think that I will ever stop doing it because it's just something that I feel like there's so many people that need help. You can just like help one person get started in the right way. You know, you feel like you left your footprint, you did something. So I really like it.
And I feel like it's the one business where like we are not going to stop paying for our beauty services no matter what happens. Like all of it, you know what I'm saying? So even if multiple salons open, there's always a need for it. And always like you, like the resource, like you are such a good resource and you've been in the business for so long. Like you'll always have a need for what you do. And I just love that. Like I said, I'm coming to the next one. So if you do another workshop.
You know what I feel like a lot of people want to gatekeep and they think, oh, if I help that person, they're going to become my competition. Look, but I got 1,800 square feet. I'm not opening up another salon. I can't fit any more things in here. So, you know, you're at the point, you get to the point where you should help other people. You shouldn't gatekeep and you shouldn't be afraid of the competition because you form a network and these are great relationships to have. You never know, like I refer staff, you know, to another salon, vice versa. I had one salon owner I worked with in the past that was closing, and I was able to place most of her staff into another salon just through connections and salon owners. And that was really good, you know, to help out in that way too. Because once you're a client of mine, you're like a client of mine for life. They stay in touch with me, we text, we call, you know, I celebrate their milestones with them. When they're facing a difficult situation, they text me and I'm always like, they always laugh because I always text back. But, you know, for me, like, I just want to help. I really do.
Yeah. And I love that about you because you will put anybody you know on and in a good spot. So
I try.
You're the best, man.
Try to put me on.
Okay. So tell me what drives you to do what you do besides like helping people, like what motivates you?
Well, of course, you know, you would be lying if you didn't save money. There's a financial aspect of it. It has to make sense. Any business decision or any business you start up has to make sense. You know, and for me, what drives me is being able to take care of my family, take care of my mom, do things for her. She's an immigrant. She immigrated here with $25 to her name. So I always wanted to be able to take care of my mom, and I was able to do that. And that felt really good. You know, that was to me, made everything worth it. Like the late nights, the stress, the not knowing if you're going to make payroll, you know, things like that every entrepreneur goes through. You know, when I was able to provide for my mom and retire her and buy her a house, that to me made everything.
Everything.
So for me, sure. That's like a driving force, just to be able to help my family.
You talk about your mom, but you are a mom.
I
How hard is it to be a mom in
Oh my
business?
God, it's so amazing. I
Yeah.
never knew how amazing it would be to be a mom. I love my son. I have a 2-year-old, and like that's the best part of my day, coming home and seeing him. And that's actually why I took time off and I actually cut my hours back for the first time in my life. And I felt a little bit of
Hmm.
guilt, but I
Yeah.
realized that, like, he's not always going to be this age, and I wanted to
Yeah.
soak it all in. And I felt, I've been working so hard for so many years all my life that me taking a 3 or 4 day work week was okay. Like I was allowed to do it. Because the first time I
Yeah.
started cutting back, I felt really bad. And then now I'm like, the place isn't going to burn down. They're fine.
Nope.
I have such a
Yep.
good team in place. I can scale back and be with my
Yeah.
son, be with my family. So
Hmm.
that's been amazing. It's been
Yeah. I love that for
amazing.
you. I always say like the doors will
You see
open
me
and
with
the doors will close.
I'm like, I'm
He
on
is
fire.
so cute, Tony. He's like his body is like your
Oh
face
my
is
God, I
on his
love him.
body. I love him. Oh my God.
I
First of
know.
all,
I love him. I'm obsessed with him. He's
he's the
he's like my heart. I
sweetest.
love him.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's so many testimonials of people having great things to say about you in business. What do customers say that they love the most? And I'm going to start because I'm a customer of
Okay.
Liquid. Angela cuts my hair. She's cut my hair for years. I've left her and really didn't ever have a good haircut until I came back to her.
He is
So
amazing.
she is amazing. She stays educated. She's up on the trends. Not only is she up on the trends, but she knows what haircut will look good on you based on even like my head shape. Like, who does that? So, what do
And she's
customers say?
fast.
She's
She's
quick.
so fast. I love it.
Yep,
Love
gets it
it.
done. What do customers say they love the most about your business or your team?
I think over the last 20, almost 20 years of being in business, the biggest feedback, or most common feedback I should say, we've gotten is just how professional our staff is. And
Hmm.
there's no like drama. People aren't, fighting for clients. I mean, just the
Yeah,
teamwork, the level of professionalism. Like no one here is doing this as a side hustle. Like they all really take their profession very seriously. They're
yeah,
very serious about their craft and about their work. And, I think that is the reason why, we've been able to maintain our business for so long, and why, they're so busy and they're booked and
hmm,
busy, because the level of professionalism, when people come in and they see that and the respect we have for one another, I think that, speaks volumes to clients when they walk in. And then also, I just think, we try to keep like a really friendly atmosphere where you don't
yeah,
feel intimidated. Because sometimes walking into a salon, you're like a little intimidated, you
yeah,
don't know what you're walking into. And when people come in, they're like, oh my God, I feel like second home.
exactly.
Everyone's so friendly.
Hmm.
That's something I think we pride ourselves in here at Liquid, because
Yeah,
everybody does, work well together. And I think
hmm,
everybody takes their career very seriously, and that's important.
yeah. I agree with that. And even like when I walk into the salon some days and you're there literally working the desk, I think it's just so down to earth to see that from you. You don't have to be there, you know what I'm saying? But it's yours and you work it just like anyone else.
So
I just admire that.
very true. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's
Yeah.
really funny because people always assume I'm not the owner, because you'll come in and I'm cleaning, I'm sweeping, the toilet stuck or whatever,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to do it all. You got to do it
Yes,
all.
for
And you
sure.
can't ask people to do something that you won't do. So I feel
Yeah.
like when people see you going hard and they see like you are humble and you will do the same everyday tasks, I feel
Yeah.
like that gives them pride in where they work. They feel
Hmm.
like they are a part of the team because they're so important, and they are. And they feel like, you're not asking them to do anything that's demeaning, because you're going to do it too.
Yeah,
And I think
for
that's
sure.
important, because in the workplaces that I've worked at in the past, the
You never
manager
see the
would
boss.
be caught dead doing it, let alone
Yeah,
the
for
owner.
sure.
And I felt like
Yeah.
I always felt like the worker bee, and I hated that feeling.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so tell me what's next for you.
Um, well, I want to still take time off. I want to enjoy my son while he's young. And my husband and I want to travel when he gets a little bit older. So we have some
Yeah.
plans to travel. I just want to continue to maintain what I have going on. I don't think I want to add anything to my plate, because I just want to kind of have that time with my
Live
son.
your life. Yeah.
But it's a good time right now. I feel like I'm more chill, I'm more relaxed. Probably 10 years ago, I was probably like a little bit, I've changed. I feel like I'm a lot more chill.
Good. He
So I'm gonna
softened
keep
you a
that
little
going.
bit.
It's good for
Yeah.
the blood pressure.
Good for the blood pressure.
Really quick, I want
Okay.
to commend you, Tamia, because I have seen you grow over the years.
Oh,
I
thank
think I
you.
met you over 10 years ago, and
Yep.
just seeing your growth. And I remember I told you, you're going to make an amazing realtor because you're really good at sales. And I was
Thank
like,
you.
you might as well sell a house, girl, because you can sell
Yeah.
some. You might as well sell a house. But just watching your growth personally in your career, I'm very proud.
Thank you.
Very happy that we've maintained our friendship and relationship over the
Yeah,
years.
for sure.
And I've always knew that you had so much potential, and like there's nothing you can't do. And you do
Thank
it in
you.
heels, and you do it looking good. And you're just like, you're limitless. And I'm very proud of you. I love to see
Thank
everything that
you.
you're doing. And I want to help and be a part of anything that you're doing because it's going to be amazing.
You're gonna make me cry, and I'm gonna hold you to that because I have a project I want to run past you.
Okay. I'm here.
Okay.
We
So
still
tell me,
got to go to lunch.
we need lunch or dinner or
I know.
something.
We still have to plan that. We still have to plan
We'll plan this after this for sure. Okay, so one final question. What would you what kind of advice would you give to a young entrepreneur?
Two things. I would tell a young entrepreneur, I would tell my younger self, always trust your gut. Don't do anything that you don't feel is right.
Yeah.
Don't matter how much money, doesn't matter who you think you're going to disappoint or who you've got to impress. Always trust your gut. And if you really want to be successful in life, someone once told me this and it stuck with me forever. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So you have to be okay with stepping outside of your comfort zone. Nothing good happens there. And there's so many times in my life that I've been so uncomfortable in business, just trying to do something. And sometimes that little voice in your back of your head is like, who do you think you are? Don't do that. You're crazy, but you just have to be able to step outside of your comfort zone and don't be afraid, because if you don't try it, you won't know if you could do it.
You will never know. Yeah, that's so true. And even like I always say, like when my stomach starts to bubble, I'm like, oh my God, I might be onto something. I'm getting that feeling.
and don't ever like lose that feeling, because that is what keeps everyone motivated and going. When things are too comfortable and everything's like on autopilot, that's when you should be afraid and worried. Something has to challenge you, something. So for me, it's like the different clients that I meet with the consulting business, just trying to help guide them, and all their problems and issues are all different. And to me, that's like a challenge. So like, I'm not taking the risk, but I'm helping them mitigate their risk. So in a way, that's my way of still staying sharp, I guess.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. So tell me how people can find Liquid Salon, or they can find you if they want to go through a $1 million salon consultation with you.
So Liquid Salon, liquidsalon.com. And then for me, you can just go onto my Instagram. It's Tawny's World. And I took my website down because I just wasn't happy with it. So I'm in the process of revamping the $1 Million Salon website. But it's really crazy because all of my business has been referrals. And I'm sometimes shocked because I'm like, wait, how did you hear about me? And it's all referrals. And I have repeat customers. Like people come back like 3, 4, 5 years later to open their second location, or just to try to expand, or, and that speaks volumes, because if someone's coming back, that means they were happy. And it's all referral based. So I haven't had to do ads or, do anything crazy. And I always have more than enough clients that I can handle. So I've, been very, very blessed in that sense. And it's like the right people have found me. It's always like people want to work with, and there's like a good vibe going. And, I don't want to, I'm in a position where I don't want to work with someone, I don't work with them, which I'm very lucky. So I only work with clients that I feel are a good fit for me, or I refer them out.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much. I love you so much. I mean, I just can't stop saying it enough.
I do. I appreciate you.
It's been fun talking to you.
Make sure you use the skinny filter on me.
I promise.
When you get ready to edit, do the little skinny filter.
I will. Thank you, Tawny.
Thank you. I appreciate it.